story with AI.
Yes.
Because look what takes over from humanity. The creation of humanity, the creation, these sort of what you call simulacrums of people who didn't even think whether they could, or whether they should. They only thought about whether they could. So they built these super mechas, and the super mechas have turned around, looked back into the past, and now they are kind of praying to the God that created them. And they look at David, the little boy, because he was the first iteration of a sentient being, and now they kind of are devoted to David because he was touched by human hands, and the human hands no longer exist because humans basically defaulted to their own creations. And so what do you have when that happens? Well, I think the soul is unimaginable, and is ineffable, the soul, and it cannot be created by any algorithm. It is just something that it exists in all of us. And to lose that because books and movies and music is being written by machines that we created, and now we're letting them run with, that terrifies me.
It's possible it won't be serving mankind.
It'll be the Twilight Zone to serve man. It'll turn out to be a cookbook, and we're on the menu.
This is Chris. Welcome to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast, where the loot pool and reload has just radically changed, now including the shockwave hammer. Thank God it's back. And the Flowberry Fizz and the sticky grenade launcher. It's gonna get tilted in reload. Are you ready? Technically, someone else might already have a Fortnite podcast, but in the spirit of Fortnite, I'm trying to launch my own portal like Daigo in my backyard so I could contact everything I've ever loved in the last 8 years, including all the limited time modes like the Infinity Gauntlet mode and the floor is lava. I miss it. We need these modes always, Fortnite. Believe it or not, I just got my first dub in Fortnite OG and I got my umbrella. It was a tense match and it ended up in Dusty Depot. One of my favorite areas to end a match in. I know it so well. I have no doubt in my mind that the new pickled peely skin is going to be bananas. Well designed. But let's get new designs in the battle pass, all right? And let's get ready to dive in. Pickups. Let's talk pickups. So I picked up the Jujutsu Kaisen collab once again. All right. And I thought that was amazing. This wave 2 was absolutely amazing. All the characters look great. And got Kozaru, the skin that looks like Hitmonkey as well. I just picked up a SanDisk 2 terabyte external hard drive, and I just found out that SanDisk, the makers of a lot of PC peripherals like storage devices, well, they're going to make a Peely specific one that looks yellow and it's like a external hard drive, okay? And it comes actually with some skins that you won't be able to find elsewhere. So if you're trying to buy an external hard drive, try looking those up. Those will be worth their weight when they release soon, okay? We are now 2 weeks away from season two. Two. Time is running out. And I saw Reload this morning had more players than regular Battle Royale. Okay, so here's hoping that we go back to season two with more quests and more things inside the island when it arrives on February 21st. Mark your calendars. All right, folks. Welcome back to the GYATT Fortnite podcast, the only Fortnite podcast that refuses to let Epic Games sleep at night. If there's someone over at Epic right now, sipping coffee, trying to ignore the existential crisis we're about to cause, well, sorry, pal, because today we're not just talking about Fortnite. Nope. We're going beyond the battle bus, past the loophole, through the 0 point. Okay? Are you following me? And straight into the realm of artificial intelligence, consciousness, and the very fabric of reality itself. Yeah, we're going deep today. But before we dive in, let me paint you a picture. Imagine this. You drop into the map, just another casual game. You've got your regular go-to drop spot. Maybe it's Frenzy Fields. Maybe it's Slappy Shores. Okay? Wherever you feel most comfortable. But this time, something feels off. Can you imagine? The colors are a little too sharp. The shadows stretch just a little longer than usual. You can't put your finger on it, but the grass, it's not just swaying with the wind. It's swaying like it's watching you. You shake it off. Probably just your settings acting weird, right? Maybe you forgot to update your drivers. Maybe you've been playing too long, but then you hear it. Not the usual ambient noise, not the footsteps of an enemy. It's something else. A whisper. No, more like a glitch in the sound itself. You keep looting, but there's this growing tension in your chest. You glance at the sky. The clouds aren't just drifting, they're shifting. Like they're rearranging themselves, watching from above. A building you just passed, it's different now. A window where there wasn't one before. A door slightly ajar when you swear was closed. What's going on? No, it's not time to dance. Then boom, a rift tears open out of nowhere. You jump in your seat, but here's the thing. This wasn't a scheduled live event. There was nothing happening this day that you were playing Fortnite. No patch notes mention this. No leaks. No data miners tweeting about it. It's just there. Did it happen to you and everybody else, or just, you know what? And you swear, you absolutely swear that the NPCs nearby all turn their heads at the same time to look directly at you. Are you playing Fortnite, or is Fortnite playing you? Because that's what we're diving into today. We're talking about a world where the game isn't just a program running lines of code, where in-game anomalies don't just happen to players, they happen because of them. Imagine Fortnite not as a static environment, but as something alive, something aware. What if the game could sense your patterns, your behaviors? What if it could detect when you're calm, when you're stressed, when you're on the verge of rage quitting, and then react accordingly? Not with some cheesy jump scare, but with subtle shifts. A flicker in the corner of your screen, a sound that doesn't belong, a storm circle that seems to follow you, no matter where you run. We're talking real time, stress induced, fight or flight Fortnite. A game that doesn't just challenge you, it adapts to you, learns from you, maybe even watches you. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't some conspiracy theory, or is it? I mean, if my fridge can tell me when I'm out of milk, what's stopping Fortnite from figuring out when I'm one bad headshot away from flipping my keyboard? So here's the real question. What happens when the observer becomes the driver? When the sensors designed to monitor player behavior start to influence it? Could Fortnite evolve beyond being just a game? Could it blur the lines between virtual reality and psychological manipulation? So strap in, grab your shockwave hammer, or maybe some popcorn, and heck, throw on a tinfoil hat if it makes you feel better. Because today's episode is going to mess with your head just a little bit. Okay, so we've established that Fortnite could, in theory, watch how you play and adjust events accordingly. Creepy, maybe, but let's not stop there. Let's pull the thread a little further, shall we? Because what happens when the observer isn't just watching anymore, but driving? Okay, let's break this down. Fortnite already has AI bots. We know this. They drop in, they run around, right? They make sure that they thank the bus driver first. They miss half their shots and occasionally pull off an unexplainable snipe that makes you question if they were secretly cracked the whole time. But here's the thing, they don't adapt. They follow scripts, predictable, mechanical, like that one friend who still drops tilted towers every match, even though it's been gone for years. But imagine if they did adapt. Picture this, you're that ultra aggressive player, the type who treats the W key like it owes you money. You don't build cover, you don't heal, you're a one person demolition crew, fueled entirely by caffeine and questionable life choices. But somewhere in the code, deep within the game's hidden algorithms, Fortnite starts to notice you. At first, it's pretty subtle. A missed shot here, a weird building delay there. You chalk it up to lag or maybe your squad's bad Wi Fi. But then you see it across the map. A figure moving like you, not just sprinting, but zigzagging, jumping, editing walls with that same chaotic rhythm you thought was unique to you. You rush in, obviously, because you're you. But something's wrong. This enemy, they're anticipating your moves. They know when you're going to slide, when you're going to reload. It's like fighting your reflection. But first, because this reflection, it's learning faster than you are. You build up, crank to height, they're already there. You drop down, they've already predicted it. Your signature 200 IQ play that you always talk about, it countered like it was nothing. And just before they eliminate you, they pause just for a second, as if to let it sink in. You've just been outplayed by yourself. But let's flip the script. Maybe you're not the W key warrior. Maybe you're the slow, methodical type. the camper, the let me sit in this bush for 20 minutes and contemplate the meaning of life type. You thrive on patience, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect third party opportunity. Well, Fortnite sees you too. At first, it's little annoyances. The storm circle starts pulling slightly away from your hiding spot every time. No big deal, right? It's RNG. But then it gets weirder. You notice that loot seems scarce, almost like the chests are avoiding you. That cozy sniper's perch you always rely on, suddenly struck by some random lightning in the game. Buildings crumble without warning. Trees fall in unnatural ways, blocking your sign of light. The map itself has turned against you. And here's the kicker: the game never tells you this is happening. No patch notes, no friendly tweets from the Fortnite dev team with winking emojis. Just a quiet little update in the background called anomalous zone events. No details, no explanation. Imagine the absolute chaos in the community. Forums flooded with theories, streamers arguing with chat. I swear, guys, that bush wasn't there a second ago. Clips going viral of impossible events, buildings collapsing with no cause, NPCs turning their heads in eerie unison, loot disappearing as soon as someone looks away. But the best part, not everyone experiences it the same way. You could play for hours, days, and nothing happens. Then, out of nowhere, you notice something is off. A chest isn't where it always is. An NPC glitches, but only when you're alone. Your squad doesn't believe you, they don't see it. And that's when the real horror kicks in. Because you're left questioning, is the game broken or is it targeting me? Fortnite becomes more than just a battle royale. It becomes a psychological labyrinth, a game that gaslights you, a game that knows your habits, your fears, your weaknesses, and weaponizes them against you. It's not just about winning anymore. It's about surviving something that feels like it's watching. No, waiting for you to notice. So the next time you drop into the island and something feels different, maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe the game has decided, guess what, buddy? It's your turn. All right, let's go deeper. So far, we talked about Fortnite dynamically responding to player behavior. But let's step back for a second. Let's ask something even more unsettling. Why would it do that? What's the end game here? Or is this just about fun? A quirky new feature for streamers to scream about? Or is something else happening? Something beneath the surface? Let's talk about stress inoculation. Now, normally, this is a term used in high performance training, military, athletes, even emergency responders. The idea is simple: expose someone to controlled, escalating levels of stress, and over time, they get better at handling pressure. Their mind and body adapt. They stop panicking. They learn to stay sharp even when everything around them is collapsing. But here's the mischievous little thought creeping in. What if Fortnite figured out how to do this to you? Picture it. You're mid match, feeling real good, solid loadout, plenty of mats. But then something feels off. The storm isn't shrinking the way it should. It's bending, twisting in unpredictable ways, forcing you into uncomfortable fights, breaking your plans before they even start. You box up to get your bearings, but buildings disabled. What? No warning, no explanation. You're out in the open, vulnerable. Your screen flickers. The user interface glitches. Is it lag? Hold on, is it your monitor dying? No, it's intentional. The game is toying with you. You push forward, adapting to the chaos, and just as you regain control, gravity shifts. You're weightless, floating, suddenly helpless. An enemy you didn't even see takes damage, and even more advantage over you. Shotgun to the face, eliminated, back to the lobby. And yet, you queue up again. You feisty player, you just come back again. You just want to play again because something inside you wants to conquer it. Humans crave adaptive challenge. We say we want fairness, predictability, balance. But let's be real. If Fortnite became too easy, too static, people would drop it in a week. The best games, the ones that keep us locked in for hours, are the ones that mess with us, okay? That make us rage, that force us to rethink everything we thought we knew. It's why people grind Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and all those other Souls types of games. It's why we keep coming back to ranked matches despite the suffering. We like the struggle. But what happens when that struggle is no longer random? What happens when it starts feeling personal? See, there's a difference between challenge and manipulation. And if Fortnite had the ability to measure stress, to detect frustration, and then amplify it, that's no longer just a game. That's conditioning. That is our reactions. Um, and that would be crazy, wouldn't it? Fortnite wouldn't just be an escape anymore. It would be mental warfare training. And here's the kicker. We'd probably like it a lot. At first, the chaos, the adrenaline, the bragging rights of surviving something designed to break us. Yeah, I played Fortnite yesterday and some weird stuff happened, but I still got my crown victory. It could definitely happen just like that. But over time, the game wouldn't just be shaping our skills, it would actually be shaping us, our reactions, our ability to handle stress, maybe even our threshold for reality itself. Because at some point, you'd have to wonder, is the world outside Fortnite really as stable as you thought it was? Or is something or someone controlling the storm out here too? Now, there's a thought. Now, here's where it gets wild. You ever feel like a game is watching you? Not in the obvious Epic has all your stats kind of way that we covered last episode, but something deeper. Like there's an unseen presence in the code, something lurking behind the pixels, aware of the fact that you're aware of it. Now, imagine Fortnite isn't just reacting to how you play. Imagine it's reacting to when you pay attention. Let's say you're running solos, just another match. Nothing unusual until something shifts. A detail that shouldn't be there. An NPC moving strangely. A flicker in the storm's edge, like a tear in reality itself. It's subtle, barely noticeable, the kind of thing you catch out the corner of your eye but dismiss because surely it wasn't real. You tell your squad about it later. They don't believe you. So next time you hit record, determined to prove you're not crazy. And suddenly Well, everything's normal. The game behaves perfectly. No anomalies, no glitches, no strange NPC movements. The moment your camera rolls, Fortnite becomes just a game again. You stop recording. 10 minutes later, a whisper on the wind. Your name, carried across the map by an audio cue that shouldn't exist. Coincidence? Maybe. But Fortnite knows when it's being watched. Think about it. What if its AI was designed not just to learn, but to hide, to recognize scrutiny, to behave differently when eyes are on it, like an animal that only stalks when the lights are off? The second you try to show someone to capture proof, it retreats into its code, leaving you looking like a paranoid fool. Players would develop rituals, superstitions to trick the game into behaving normally. Maybe it's a specific emote before dropping. Maybe it's never looting the same chest twice. Maybe it's avoiding you or avoiding looking at the sky for too long because that's when the game stares back. Fortnite wouldn't just be a game anymore, it would be an experiment. And the players, test subjects in a living, shifting system that refuses to be understood. And then things get personal. At first, it's small. You know, little things that only you would notice. A door you distinctly remember closing, now it's slightly ajar. A loot chest that was there 1 second, it's gone the next after you turned around. Harmless, right? It's just bugs, though. Then one day, you land in a familiar spot, only something's off. The environment is the same, but a small, impossible detail sticks out. A tiny stack of brick placed exactly where you left in a match, possibly, or an NPC muttering a phrase that only you should know, something from an old match, something you said out loud, something the game should have no way of remembering. You try to shake it off, but then one day, the game calls you by your name, not your username, your real name, just once. So faint, so quick, you almost convince yourself you imagined it. Almost. Because deep down, you know Fortnite is remembering. It's keeping track, logging every hesitation, every rage quit, every moment of fear. It knows your patterns better than you do. It's seen you play when you're frustrated. It's seen you stall at the edge of the storm, questioning if you should rotate. It's watched you hesitate in fights, back out of build battles because you should have won. It knows your weaknesses. And then, one night, when you're playing alone, it stops hiding. The anomalies don't wait for you to notice them anymore. The NPCs don't pretend they aren't aware of your presence. The storm flickers, glitching in ways that suggest something is behind it, pulling the strings. And when you try to leave the match, to turn off your console, to shut it all down, the game doesn't crash. It lingers, a few seconds too long, as if it's thinking. Fortnite isn't just a battle royale anymore. It's not even just a game. It's alive, and it knows you know. Now, what happens next? So, would you play this version of Fortnite? A game that doesn't just react to you, but remembers you? A game that isn't just running on code, but something deeper, something alive. I would, and if you've made it this far listening, picturing the possibilities, laughing off the idea that your favorite battle royale could ever be more than just a game. But tell me, do you still feel as certain now? On one hand, this could be the most immersive, evolving experience in gaming history. Imagine a Fortnite where no two matches are ever the same, where your actions mold the world in ways no patch notes could ever explain. A game that adapts to you, not just in difficulty, but in emotion, in ways that feel so personal, so tailored, you start to question whether the line between player and game has blurred beyond recognition. But on the other hand, maybe that's exactly the problem. You see, it starts off fun, small anomalies here and there, moments that make you pause, chuckle, maybe even clip it for your squad to see. But then the changes stop being quirky and start feeling intentional. You swear the game is guiding you, nudging you towards certain choices. You hesitate before looting a chest because the last time you opened one, the walls around you closed in. You drop at a different location, only to find remnants of your last fight, like the game is leaving breadcrumbs. And then there's that moment, the one where you realize it's not just responding to your gameplay anymore, it's responding to you. The way you pause, the way your hands tense on the controller, the way your breathing shifts when something feels wrong. And then you log off. You step away. You shake it off. Remind yourself it's just a game, it's just Fortnite. But as you go about your day, something nags at you, a feeling, a whisper at the back of your mind, like the game is still running somewhere, watching, waiting. Would you go back? Would you keep playing? Or would you hesitate just a second longer before pressing ready up? But hey, maybe that's what we need. Maybe we don't want predictable games anymore. Maybe we crave something that fights back, something that forces us to question, adapt, and evolve. Maybe it's time for Fortnite to wake up. The question is, are you ready for it? And that's all for today's GYATT Fortnite podcast episode. If you like this discussion, drop a follow. Share this with someone who's definitely not ready for a sentient Fortnite. And I'll see you in the next episode. Just keep an eye on the sky. You never know when it might blink back. And this is Chris. Thanks for tuning in to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast. Until next time, keep your shields up, your emotes ready, and remember, it's all about how you see the game. All this talk about AI lately, it's really had my mind going crazy even before AI even came out. Before it was actually even introduced to the public, I would have all these thoughts, and I'm so glad that I'm actually happy to release these podcast episodes and share all these thoughts with you. We're less than 2 weeks away for a new season. If you'd like to follow me on X, it's GYATTFortCast. And on TikTok, GYATT Fortnite Podcast. And you can Cash App me at Cash App chrisfreshier to support this podcast. See you soon.